Good afternoon, guys. This is Mr. Smith. You may have me as your teacher, you may not have me as your teacher. Um, so I'm coming at you live from my house. It is Thanksgiving break. I can't tell if the music's going to drown out this video. I'm going to test it after I upload this one just to see if it works. But um, I'm in my home office. Got the nice little map. Got the wife in the back. Say hi, wife. Thank you, wife. All right. So you are here because you are trying to save your grade. You are trying to make sure that you do not fail. We're going to make sure that that happens. So I'm going to take you step by step through the Comm Apps credit recovery assignment, and I will have a corresponding video on each section's opening slide. So this first one is just kind of a introduction, and I'll also take you through part one because part one is mandatory for everyone that is attempting this assignment. So this assignment is designed for students who are in danger of failing the course for the semester. It is not mandatory for every student to complete. If you are passing my class with like a B or above, please do not try to do this assignment. There's no reason for you to. Please follow the instructions carefully throughout the slides and submit when you are finished. So what is this assignment? So I know that I'm looking at a kind of big screen. You might not have a large screen on your Chromebook or whatever you're doing your assignments on. So please don't forget to either zoom in or change this into presentation mode. But I figured that since I had videos and everything included in the slide, it would be a good idea to make sure that I made this inside of Google Slides. But essentially this assignment works as credit recovery. It does not make logistical sense for you to complete all of your missing work in 3 weeks. Some of you had not turned anything since the year started, and of course we understand why. That being said, it is important that you try to pass this class as it is required to graduate. This slideshow will take you through the essential skills of the class and give you a chance to show us what you know. If you can show mastery of the skill, then you receive credit. How the slideshow will work, it will be broken up into sections based on the skills you are supposed to learn in this class. If you did the corresponding assignment for that section of the class, you do not need to complete that section in the slideshow. So what that means is if you already did the unit on group communication, you don't need to do section 4 because that's what group communication is. If you did your informative speech on a certain country that you chose, you do not need to do section 3, I believe, and so on and so forth. Each section will have the class notes hyperlinked inside of the slide along with the assignment. The assignments are paced out to take no longer than about 20 minutes apiece, but that's excluding reading the notes. The sections we'll focus on are the communication process, which we'll go over in this video, intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication, which I combined, informative communication, and group communication. If you're doing the entire thing, the estimated completion time for the full assignment is about 2 hours. While you should turn this assignment in as soon as possible, you will have until December 16th, 2020 to finish and submit it. You can email your teacher at any step of the way with questions. This assignment cannot help you receive credit if you are over on absences. That requires attendance recovery. But again, you probably have already started working on that if you are dealing with absences. So here, just in case you had some more clarification, you think it makes sense, but what if you still need help? You can always reach out to your teacher, either through a Schoology message or an email. And then I have linked all the teachers here below. So if you have Dr. Rodriguez, if you click on that, it will send it. It will take you to Gmail, so you can send an email to Dr. Rodriguez. Same with Ms. Cleric and myself. And even if you don't have me as a teacher, I'm the one that made this assignment. So if you have any questions on it, you can always reach out to me with any concerns that you may have. That being said, we're going to get started with section 1, which is the communication process. There was no big assignment for this unit, so this section is mandatory. That means you do have to complete it before submitting the whole assignment. So basically, this means that you cannot do just one section and turn it in. You will do this section and then one of the other ones that you're missing, because it's always a good idea to kind of be reminded of what the communication process entails. So let's kind of look and see how everything is broken down. So the first thing that we'll have on every slide is we'll have, it'll be broken up into at least 3 steps. Usually the notes are going to be in the first step. So right here, it says click to open. If you click on this, it will take you directly to a Google slideshow that has the notes on the communication process. And remember that all of the notes that we covered has Dr. Rodriguez's audio explanations linked inside of the slide itself. So you go to any of these, and of course you could write down this information, or you can click that little play button and it should play her voice.
One of the things that we're going to look at.
See, so it works perfectly fine. So this applies to every single Google Slide notes. So please do not hesitate to use those for extra information. So in case you don't want the notes in slideshow form, you can also click on that and I'll take you to the notes in paper form. So these notes were compiled by Ms. Cleric, but I went ahead and put them all in one Google Doc based on what unit it was. So this is all in the communication process. Now, to kind of give you guys a little bit of an advantage here, if you did not know this, if you hold the Control key on your keyboard and then hit F, that is going to open up a basically means find. So you can type in the word. So for example, if there's a question about context, I can type context in, and then there are that will take me right to the paragraph where it's talking about. So even if you don't want to read all of the notes, because I understand that each of them has like 4 or several pages on there, you can always hit Control F to find the notes that you need. So you can use that suggestion moving forward. So that's step 1. Next one is step 2. You're going to watch the following clip from Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm not going to play the clip in this video, but it's from the first movie, and it's one of the more significant conversations between Will Turner, played by Orlando Bloom, and Captain Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp. In case you don't want to watch the clip, you can click right here, and that will take you to a Google Doc that has the script portion of the scene, and it also gives you a little bit of stage direction so that way you understand what's happening. And you're going to need to understand what's being said and what also isn't being said based on the questions that you'll need. So you can open that up if you would like it as well. So you go from the notes to watching the clip, then you can also read the lines from said clip. And then step 3, review the following concepts from the notes before attempting the questions on the next slide. So basically, I'm giving you kind of a target for what you want to look at in the notes beforehand. So before you look at the questions, I would look at encoding and decoding, which as we know is sending and receiving messages. If you're sending a message, you're encoding. If you're receiving a message, you're decoding. Feedback, both verbal and nonverbal, that kind of shows how people respond to communication, both verbal and nonverbal as well. Social context during the communication process. Remember that the social context is the setting in which communication is taking place, and the context can change based on information or actions that are happening. And then the last thing is the transactional model of communication, which is the most modern version that we are at today. The idea that we are always communicating with not just what we're saying, but with what we're wearing, and how even though we might not be saying anything to someone else, we are constantly in communication with another person or the people around us. Last here on the bottom right, it says you'll probably be jumping back and forth between this slide and the next one. It would be a good idea to check the notes so you can answer this question properly. That's just one last reminder. Please check the notes before you look at the question. But let's look at the question.
You knew my father.
Skip that. All right. Lagging a little bit, but that's all right. So here in the section 1, the communication process, these are your assignment questions. So you'll have the section header slide, you'll have the instructions and the notes on one slide, and then your actual assignment will be on the next one. But the notes will also have kind of the prep for the assignment. So we have everything that we need. We've watched the Pirates clip. We have looked at our notes. We looked at the key terms that we need to look at in our notes. So let's answer the question. Based on the transactional model of communication, how is communication happening throughout the entire scene? So you can basically take that answer in any direction that you want, since the transactional model of communication really kind of highlights the fact that we're constantly communicating, not just with our words, but with our actions and with how we're looking and how we're reacting to certain things. So please don't hesitate to kind of take that answer, use the information that you learned in the notes, and twist it in any way that you need to in order to get the answer properly responded to. Question number 2, based on what you learned about social context, how does the conversation between Will and Jack shift context throughout the scene? It happens at least 3 times, but you only have to explain 1. So as I explained earlier, context is when the setting of a conversation changes. And there's a couple of instances in that conversation between Will and Jack where the context does shift, and then you can just explain how that happens. And then the last thing, based on your knowledge of encoding and decoding and feedback, who is the more effective communicator in the scene? Please provide examples to defend your answer. There's not a necessarily right answer with this, but if you can defend your answer with evidence from the clip and evidence from the notes, then you're all good with that. One thing that I didn't really touch on, but I will go ahead and put right here. I'm not expecting 1-sentence sentences right here. We need like to make sure that it's substantial, we need about 3 to 6 sentences per assignment. And that's going to apply to all of these. So make sure that you're not just putting like 1-sentence responses. Otherwise, your teacher is not going to give you a passing score on the assignment. Now, this all sounds well and good, but you might be thinking, well, okay, I don't really want to type it. What if I want to, record it or something, because I don't really like typing, and I don't have enough space to do that. And I wish I could just talk through it with my teacher. That's an option as well. So would you rather record your answers verbally? No problem, just click here. And that will take you to the online voice recorder, which is something that we use at the beginning of the pandemic for teaching. So this is a very simple and free website. You literally click on the button to start recording, and then you can record your voice. Once you hit stop recording, you can either trash it or keep it. If you keep it, it downloads to your computer as an MP3 file. Then you'll add it to your Google Drive, and then you can add that file into your Google Slide. So I could demo that, but instead of doing that, the other link right here, did you forget how to add audio or video into Google Slides? No problem, just click here for a reminder on how to properly add your audio or video into Google Slides. And if you click here, that will take you to a click sheet, or essentially like a Google Doc that kind of gives you a step-by-step method for how to properly add audio or video into your slides. There are two methods. One of them involves opening it outside of Schoology, and the other one involves just posting the link. So you can scroll through the first one, and if that one seems easy, then go ahead and go for that. If you don't want to do the first one, then you can always do the second one, which I believe are on the last two slides. Yes. Yeah, on the last two slides is where you'll find method 2. Okay. So those are the 3 questions that you'll have to answer. Make sure you watch the Pirates of the Caribbean clip before that. Make sure you look at the notes to make sure you understand the transactional model of communication, social context, and then also as a reminder, figure out effective encoding and decoding of messages and feedback. Be prepared to defend your answers either through text or through your recording of yourself. And if you need any help figuring out how to add said file into this, feel free to reach out to me on that. I think the 3rd slide that has all the teacher info on that. So if you guys are doing this, thank you so much for taking your grades seriously, even though we are nearing the end. It does not go unnoticed. I hope that you are able to enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you in part 2 of the video when we talk about how to answer the questions for the interpersonal communication unit.